Hey guys, Josh here, and today we're diving into a story that proves just how ruthless Formula One engineering can be. While Red Bull is currently in full panic mode over a series of terrifying crashes, Ferrari is looking at the exact same situation and deciding to push the boundaries even further. We're talking about the infamous Macarena rear wing. The FIA is currently investigating the entire concept for safety reasons, but instead of backing off, Ferrari is reportedly bringing in an even more extreme Evo version to the Belgian Grand Prix, and the numbers being leaked from Italy suggest it could give them an unbelievable 11 km/h speed boost. Now let's get into the physics of how this wing actually works, while Red Bull's version keeps failing, and how this upgrade would completely flip the championship battle at Spa. To really grasp what's happening here, we have to look at how the 2026 active aerodynamics rules changed the game. When the FIA got rid of the old DRS system, they allowed teams to use straight mode in specific zones on the track. This lets the driver open up the rear wing to dump drag and gain top speed. Most teams took a fairly standard approach to this, but Ferrari's aerodynamicists looked at the rulebook and decided to get creative. During the pre-season test in Bahrain, they showed up with a wing that didn't just open a flap, it rotated a full 225 degrees. The flap literally flips upside down. When it sits in that inverted position, it sheds a massive amount of drag and can even create a lifting effect that makes the car even faster on the straights. It was a brilliant piece of engineering, and they officially debuted it at the Miami Grand Prix. But here's my first question for you guys. Do you think active aero has made the racing better this year, or do you miss the old DRS trains? Let me know down in the comments, because this new system is definitely causing some chaos. And nobody knows that chaos better than Red Bull. When they saw Ferrari's design, they immediately built their own version and brought it to Miami as well. But they made one critical change to the geometry. Ferrari designed the wing so that the flap front flips shut. This means that if the hydraulic actuators fail, the natural pressure of the air hitting the car will force the wing closed. It's inherently fail-safe. Red Bull, on the other hand, designed their wing to rotate in the opposite direction. Their flap backflips shut. This creates a much more aggressive opening, which dumps even more drag, but it comes with a terrifying side effect. In the split second that the wing is closing, it actually generates lift. That aggressive design choice has backfired spectacularly. Max Verstappen has now suffered two massive rear wing failures in the span of just 2 weeks. In Austria, the wing refused to close during qualifying, sending him spinning into the barriers at the penultimate corner. Then, during the race at Silverstone, the exact same failure happened at the Stowe corner, ruining his chances of a podium finish. Verstappen was absolutely livid on the team radio. He called the failures super dangerous and pointed out that he could have been seriously injured in both crashes. Red Bull's team boss, Lauren Mekies, had to publicly promise they would investigate every single detail to ensure it never happens again. Because of those crashes, the FIA has officially stepped in. They've contacted both Red Bull and Ferrari to demand technical data on these rotating wings. The rulebook clearly states that the wing must transition from open to close within 400 milliseconds. But the FIA is now questioning whether that's fast enough. Even if the wing physically moves within that time limit, they want to know if the airflow is actually reattaching to the car quickly enough to give the driver the grip they need when they hit the brakes. Right now, the FIA is just asking questions. They haven't banned anything yet, but the threat of a ban is hanging over the paddock. McLaren actually built their own version of this wing, which everyone is calling the Macarena, but they have been too nervous to race it. They kept it in the garage in Austria and at Silverstone. So, with the FIA watching every move and Red Bull considering taking their wing off the car entirely for safety reasons, what does Ferrari do? They double down. According to reports from Motorsport Italia, Ferrari is arriving at the Belgian Grand Prix with a brand new Evo version of the Macarena wing. Instead of playing it safe, they're making the design even more aggressive. The report suggests that Ferrari's engineers have increased the physical gap between the movable flaps and the main wing profile. By widening that gap, the wing can open even further when straight mode is activated. A bigger opening means less air resistance, and less air resistance means a higher top speed. The projected gains are absolutely wild. Insiders are claiming this Evo wing could deliver an extra 11 km/h at the end of the straight. In Formula One terms, that's an eternity. Back in the old DRS days, opening the wing usually gave you about 12 to 15 km/h. Ferrari is basically bolting a full DRS advantage onto their car just through a single upgrade. This is a massive deal for Ferrari because straight line speed has been their biggest weakness for years. Before this upgrade was finalised, reports indicated that Ferrari's engineers were actually prepared to accept a half-second deficit to Mercedes at Spa, simply because the SF26 was too draggy. This new wing is designed to completely erase that deficit. And honestly, there is no better track on the entire calendar to debut this upgrade than Spa-Francorchamps. The Belgian Grand Prix is a 7-kilometre monster of a circuit that's defined by its massive full-throttle blast. The run from the bottom of Eau Rouge up through Radillon and all the way down the Kemmel Straight to Les Combes is one of the longest flat-out sections in motorsport. Then you have the run from Stavelot all the way to the bus stop chicane. The FIA knows this, which is why they've designated 5 separate straight mode activation zones for this weekend. That's the highest number of activation zones we've seen at any track this year. If Ferrari really does have an 11km/h advantage and they get to use it 5 times per lap, they're going to be a rocket ship. But I want to ask you guys another question. Do you think 11km/h is enough to guarantee a win at Spa, or does cornering speed still matter more in the middle sector? Drop your thoughts below, because the setup compromise at Spa is always the hardest part of the weekend. Now that setup compromise is going to be even harder this year because of the hybrid systems. The 2026 cars rely heavily on electrical energy, and Spa is going to drain those batteries incredibly fast. Fernando Alonso recently pointed out that if a driver uses all their battery power in the first sector, they will have absolutely nothing left for the rest of the lap. And without that electrical boost, Alonso said the cars actually produce less power than a Formula 2 engine. This is where Ferrari's new wing could be a secret weapon. If the Evo wing allows them to hit their top speed targets purely through aerodynamic efficiency, they won't have to burn as much battery power on the straights. They can save that electrical energy for the tight, twisty second sector, giving them a massive advantage over teams that are forced to drain their batteries just to overcome drag. This upgrade could not come at a more critical moment in the championship. Kimi Antonelli is still leading the standings, but his advantage has shrunk to just 25 points over George Russell and 32 points over Lewis Hamilton. Ferrari is the team with all the momentum right now. They've won 2 of the last 3 races, with Hamilton taking the victory in Barcelona and Charles Leclerc winning at Silverstone. And let's not forget, Leclerc secured his very first Formula win at Spa back in 2019. On the other side of the garage, Max Verstappen is already writing off his chances. He's currently sitting 7th in the championship with 76 points, and he's openly admitted that the Red Bull power unit just doesn't have the efficiency for these long energy-starved circuits. He told the media that Spa is going to feel exactly like Silverstone, where he struggled with poor balance and a lack of top speed even before his wing failed. The only thing that could ruin Ferrari's master plan is the weather. The forecast for the Ardennes is looking incredibly unpredictable, which is pretty standard for Spa. There is a risk of showers on Friday, potential thunderstorms during qualifying on Saturday, and more rain expected for the race on Sunday. If the track is wet, top speed becomes completely irrelevant and downforce becomes everything. Ferrari will have to make a brutal choice. Do they run the Evo wing to get that 11km/h boost, or do they bolt on a high downforce wing to survive the rain? And that brings me to my final question for you guys. If you were the team boss at Ferrari, would you risk running the low drag Evo wing if there was a 50% chance of rain on Sunday? Let me know what strategy you would choose in the comments down below. Ferrari is taking a massive swing this weekend. They're bringing a highly aggressive, controversial upgrade to the longest track of the year, right while the FIA is investigating the safety of the entire concept. If it pays off, they could dominate the Belgian Grand Prix. If it fails, it could be a disaster. Anyway, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of the fallout from this weekend, and I'll see you in the next video.